Okay, so now you've had an opportunity to peek into Mr. Colone's classroom and look at the evidence through one of the lenses of the domain that your table group was assigned. Now we want to give you a little bit of a little bit of time to kind of talk at your table group related to your domain and what evidence that you collected as a group. And so if you turn to packet page 6, you and your table group will be spending the next 5 minutes kind of having a conversation about whether you were in domain 1, domain 2, or domain 3, and what evidence that you collected that you saw in Mr. Colone's classroom. And also consider those bottom two questions. What might this classroom look like if one of the domains was missing? And how did the three domains work together? So first, really kind of talk about the specific information or evidence that you collected as a group. But then go ahead and have a conversation a little bit about how maybe all three domains might work together, or as you're kind of glancing over some of those other domains, what other things might have popped out to you if you had had that second or third domain, depending on which group you had. And then in a few minutes, once your table group gets a chance to discuss this together, please identify someone to be a reporter. And then each of the three groups is going to get a chance to share out so everyone can kind of fill in the other two boxes, or at least take a few notes based on what other groups saw in the video. So Carla and Melissa will let you go ahead and set the timer for 5 minutes and allow each table group to talk about their evidence and discuss those two questions at the bottom of packet page 6. We now want to go ahead and allow you to extend the discussion that you just had to the idea of equity and the optimal learning environment. And we're going to invite you to consider how the OLE, or the optimal learning environment, provide entry points for you as an IDS to discuss equitable learning conditions with teachers. So at your tables, we have these prompts up on the screen. We want to give you about 3 or 4 more minutes to really kind of talk about any and all of these questions that resonate with you and your table mates about how you might actually be willing to kind of have those equity conversations, and how this tool and framework might be able to support you with that. So 3 more minutes to talk at your table groups. We're not going to take the time right now to share out those responses related to the equitable learning environments, but we know that those conversations are extremely important for all of us to be having on a regular basis. And so you'll get an opportunity to kind of extend that and talk in whole group at another time. But what we want you to do now is give you the opportunity to really stop and reflect individually about your own context, so your own building, the teachers that you'll be working with, so on and so forth. So if you turn to packet page 34, and I know it's really kind of odd, I will just share that we are kind of condensing this learning that's normally a 2-day learning session, and we're taking kind of a different chunk and chew with that. So packet page 34 is the second to last page in your packet. The numbers really don't matter, but you'll notice that it says packet page 34 at the bottom. And what we want you to do now is to really consider some of what we've already been through, the video, the framework around optimal learning environments, and the conversations that you've all had with each other, and really think about what kinds of things might I want to consider as I apply this to my own practice moving forward this year. So what kinds of things might you want to apply to your work with individuals and or teams of teachers, and or other things related to the optimal learning environment right now? So go ahead and take a few notes on packet page 34 related to that, and any action steps that you want to really capture at this point. So we're going to give you about 3 minutes individually to jot down a few notes, and then we're going to move on to the next piece.